My son, who is quite an accomplished guitar player, uses several effects pedals with his music and decided it would be fun to build his own effects pedal board. I had an old piece of scrap plywood and it's a little splintered on the edges, a little bit rough, but good enough for the project we're going to build. So he brought his pedals out and laid them out and got some measurements, and we determined the size of board we needed and cut that out, and then cleaned it up and sanded it up a little bit and started making some measurements. We got it measured out and marked off, and he took a jigsaw and cut out the slots needed for the cables to run from the power supply, which will be mounted underneath, up to the effects pedals. We cut out some strips and attached to the upper portion of the pedal board. That is to elevate the upper pedals from the lower ones, so when you engage one of the upper pedals you don't accidentally bump some of the controls on the lower pedals with your foot. Next, we laid out some test strips of various finishes with and without clear coat, and he decided which one he liked the best, and we went from there. We marked out where the screws would be placed to attach the feet to the pedal board, then drilled and countersunk all the screw holes and attached the feet to the board. With all the holes pre-drilled and using some wood glue, we attached the strips to the upper portion of the pedal board. And it began to take shape. At this point we did a little more sanding just to knock down the rough edges, round off the corners, and do away with any potential splinters that might be along the edges of those strips. This is just a close-up shot showing how the foot is attached to the pedal board. The next step was to tape off all the areas where the Velcro would be attached before we apply the stain. We gave it a good coat of stain, then hung it up to dry for a couple of days. Here you can see we've attached the Velcro. A 2-inch strip of Velcro was just right for most of the panels. Of course, the narrow strip, we just had to trim it down to about half that width, but it worked out well. Here you can see we have the Velcro in place on all the unstained portion of the board and the power supply attached underneath. For the handles, we were thinking outside the box and decided to use these 1967-68 Chevy Bel Air car door handles. Well, that makes it one of a kind and totally unique compared to any other pedal board you might see out there. This shows the underside and how the power supply is attached to the upper portion of the pedal board. To attach the power supply, I just cut out a metal strip and then bent it so that it holds the power supply tightly against the board and screwed it down. My son removed the little rubber feet from the power supply so that it would fit tightly against the board. Then we took the little rubber feet and attached them to the wooden feet on the pedal board so that it sits nicely on the floor and does not tip or rock. When we got finished, we discovered we had one screw head exposed. Everything else was covered with the Velcro. And on the particular day that we finished up this project, my son and his friend had been target shooting with a 9mm pistol, and we decided to take one of the casings and cut it down, shorten it up, and tap it in to hide the screw. A nice way to remember the day. Well, here it is, plugged in, turned on, and in use. My son says it works very well. He's pleased with it. Of course, you can go online and pay about any price you want to for a pedal board. We even saw one that was made from a chunk of an old wooden pallet, and they just ran the cables through the existing cracks in the pallet, and that one sold for 140 bucks. So that's how we transformed this into this. I hope you've enjoyed this little video. Thank you for watching, and remember, why buy it when you can build it? See you soon.